In the previous episode, it ended where we found Ivan and Arina on the cliffs behind Donkey Heights. Kleinjan took them back to the village, and Wong Tong looked them over, and they regained consciousness while they were there. And then Wong Tong asked Kleinjan to bring them back to his place. Dmitri was very upset with what happened to Ivan and Arina. And Kleinjan called Roelof and asked him if he would mind to go and take a look at the scene and see if he could get any wiser. Kleinjan was worried because it looked like the Russian was on the point of taking the law into his own hands, and that would be not very, very good for Renosterkop. Using the data map that Dmitri gave him, Roelof was able to retrace and retrack the trail that the two prospectors followed that day. All along the way, he was trying to figure out what really happened, and he was keeping his eyes peeled to see if he can see anything out of the ordinary. But Renosterkop had a lot of rain the previous night, so he was not too positive about what he would find in any case, but he had to go and take a good look, because something does not seem right about the whole story. He reached the first stop and climbed up into the rocks. It was clear from the marks that he could see where they were prospecting, and that was all. The rain has washed those rocks clean, and there was nothing really of importance. On the data track, he could see that they didn't stop again. Their next stop was at the cliffs at the back of Donkey Heights. So he got into the vehicle and made a beeline for that destination. Roelof arrived at the accident scene, and he scanned the environment thoroughly, trying to find any indications of what happened here. He climbed into the rocks, and he could see the places where they were prospecting. The scars were on the rocks there. And then he climbed up higher to where the rocks came from. There was nothing to see. The rain washed everything away. He used all his skills, but came up totally dry. He decided to go back and report to Kleinjan. Something was wrong, but he could not find any trace or trail or indication of what it was. He did see the traces of where the rocks came from, and he could clearly see that those rocks were disturbed. They didn't fall off naturally. There was clear indications that somebody made an effort to get that rocks to fall down the cliff. But that was all. There was no tracks, no trail, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Roelof was not happy. He is very good at what he is doing. But here he is now stumped. He cannot lay his finger on anything to identify anything or anybody. All he knew is something was wrong, and he shared his findings with Kleinjan. Kleinjan suggested that they go to Wangtong and see if they couldn't talk to Ivan and Arina. Kleinjan called Wangtong and told him what Roelof has found and asked if it was possible that they could speak to Ivan and Arina. Wangtong agreed to wake the two up. Talking to Ivan and Arina did not help much. They really didn't know what happened. The one moment they were still collecting samples, and the next moment the rocks was on them and everything went black. And that was the end of it. They knew nothing more. Shireen and Ivana arrived there. They heard about the accident. They have set camera traps up all over Renosterkop to study the wildlife. And this morning, Shireen went to exchange the memory cards on the cameras. The memory card from the camera in Amarilla Gorge had a very interesting image on it. She shared the image with a group. Unfortunately, the cameras were set up low because they are looking at small animals and rodents. All that was visible in the shot was the legs of two men, and it was the lower part of the legs. Kleinjan was almost certain that he recognized that, but he kept his suspicion to himself. Back at the workshop, Kleinjan shared his suspicion with Roelof, and Roelof nodded his head. He thinks Kleinjan has got something. Their biggest problem is they had no hard evidence. So they only have their suspicions and nothing more. Where is this road going to lead to? Renosterkop is a very small and isolated community. And with something like this simmering in the background, things can go wrong very quickly. Let's see.